and I think rightfully so, have been set up to favor the home team or to favor the team that has a player, in that they can give an extra year plus the raises that the current team can give are 10.5% versus a 5-year deal with 8% increases for a team trying to get a free agent. So a player can always make more money with his own team unless his team signs and trades him.
Right.
Then he can make the same thing. So it's I think it's very much up in the air as to exactly what's going to happen with players, and I think it'll be a lot of fun for the fans, and I know it's going to be a lot of fun in being involved in it.
Do you think these players are very responsive? I mean, do you think they're open to this? Do you think the players in question want this process? I mean, they're looking forward to this process? I mean, is this something you get the idea, without being specific to any person, do you get the idea these players who were involved are very much looking forward to the process of meeting with all these different teams and hearing from all these different teams?
It appears that way. Because it's gotten so much publicity about the potential ramifications of different things, that I think that that could very well be the case.
Interesting. We're talking with Rod Thorn today. They name Avery Johnson as their head coach, and soon we'll be past the playoffs, and we'll be into that period here. So it's going to be a very different, a very exhausting next month for a guy like you, or a guy who's running a franchise, this, especially one that has as many ways to play this. This is going to be really a fascinating time, Rod. You might not spend another month like this in your career where you have this many options open to you.
Hope not. I hope we're on the other side of it, quickly, and that we'll be watching others, do it. But it should be, I think, fascinating is a correct word, because we, potentially anyway, it's, we've never been in a situation with potentially so many outstanding type players possibly becoming free agents.
Rod, if I told you 2 years ago Rondo would be playing like this, would you be surprised?
I would. I think that young man has grown by leaps and bounds to where now you can speak about him in the same breath with Darren Williams and Chris Paul as the elite in our league at the point position. His defense, his rebounding, his making big shots, big plays, reminds me a little bit of Jason Kidd in that, he may not score a lot during the game, but the last 5 minutes a guy will make a three or make a big shot. He plays a hard, tough game. I think he's just terrific.
Would you have been surprised if 2 years ago I told you Gasol would be playing this way?
Gasol, to me, from the time he came in the league, Mike, was always one of the most talented players. I think he obviously has gotten stronger, bigger, tougher over the course of time, and to now today he's one of the 2 or 3 best big players in the league. No question.
I mean, his all-around skills. I mean,
unbelievable.
Really is unique to have a guy who can do. I mean, there's nothing he can't do on the court. I mean, you don't usually see a big guy who can do everything.
How about the block he made on the Ray Allen jump shot the other night from the corner? It came from nowhere. His passing ability is great. He can score left, right, any way you want him to. But he's a great player. No, really, and with that in mind, when you look at your big man, his maturation, you had to be very proud of. Even though I know it was a very tedious year and it was very tough to live through it, I thought, considering all the negatives this year, he did a very nice job. He really showed that he's gonna be an outstanding player. He did, Mike, and he has so much room to grow. He's getting bigger and stronger. He's got great skill level, and he works hard at it. He knows what he's doing. There's no reason that he shouldn't be an elite player in the league. And how have you found Mr. Prokhorov? How have you spent? Do you spend a lot of time with him? Do you chat with him a lot? I mean, he made quite a splash when he came through here that time. I mean, he really, whoever his, and I know I met the young lady who was part of his mastermind team, I tell you, but they did a nice job. They really got every ounce of good publicity they could have. They handled everything very
very well. He's definitely charming, an interesting character, isn't he?
He's fascinating. I mean, to have done what he's done in 45 years it hadn't happened a lot, and he everything he's done, he's always been successful, and just a fascinating character.
Is he as active as he portrayed to me he would be? He kind of made it seem like he was going to be pretty, have his hands in this pretty good. Does he have his hands in it?
Well, he definitely does. He definitely is engaged. He definitely knows a lot about it because he was a player, and he's run basketball teams before. Although at Siska, where he ran Siska Moscow, the rules are a little bit different here than they were there. But he knows the game and loves the game, and is very engaged in it.
All right, Rod. I wish I could ask you more direct questions, but I know you don't want to give Stern $100,000. So there's too much. I can't ask a question about any of those guys. There's so many guys I'd like to talk to you about, but I can't talk about any of them right now. So in the weeks to come, we'll have a chance to chat about it. Happy hunting.
Hey, thank you very much, Mike.
Take care, Rod. Rod Thorn on Avery Johnson. So he is now your net coach, and obviously this will be. See, the Nets have players who can trade. Sign and trades are in vogue with the Nets because they have a lot of cap room. They can sign free agents. Plus, they got players that can trade. They have draft picks they can trade. They got players they can trade. They got players who can play. They got point guards. They got bigs. They have a guy who is, I think, behind Jerry West, the best talent evaluator in the league, in Rod Thorn. They have a chance to make it up in leaps and bounds. And if they were going into Brooklyn tomorrow instead of Newark, which they'll probably spend 3 years in. They're saying 26 months. I say probably let's slow it down to 3 years. If they weren't spending the next 3 years, if they were open in Brooklyn in September, the Nets would be a front runner to become a juggernaut if they had all that in place. The problem is they don't. So, but they have a lot of things at their disposal, including a great talent evaluator in Rod Thorn. Back after this.